Hello, friends, and welcome to the 59th episode of All New Snap Judgments. As always, I'm Roy Rogers, and joining me is my friend and yours, the Space Emperor of our hearts, of our dreams, the CEO of Snap Judgments Podcasting Network, the one, the only, Aaron Pulse Glazer. How are you this evening, my wonderful friend?
How did you forget my last name in the middle of your intro?
No, I just laugh every time, particularly when people call you Pulse. It makes me laugh hysterically. So,
Okay.
yes, I was just, because I decided to do like your full, I can't say given name because like whatever that, I don't know, your handle, I guess is the term.
Sure.
Whatever that is, like what needed to give your full handle. But anyway, how are you doing this wonderful, balmy, hottest summer in record on the East Coast of the United States?
I am very hot. It's really fucking hot. Oh, wait, I'm not supposed to curse in the first 2 minutes of the podcast. I didn't say that. In the meantime, though, I'm doing pretty great and going to the Bahamas in a day or two.
There we go.
Snap is doing significantly less great right now.
Well, that is a issue that we can explore with our awesome special guest this week. So, who are our very special guests joining us for this week's episode?
We are joined first by the winner of Season 2 of the Snap Judgments League. He is everyone's favorite Marvel Snap body part. It is Butt. How you doing, Butt?
I'm doing good. Thanks for having me.
Awesome to have you here. And hey, can people find you anywhere in the Marvel Snap community?
No, I don't really have any socials. Instead of shouting out my socials, I guess I would shout out some, great creators like Yo Woody, Gnome Plays, KX4N, and of course our other guest here.
And our other guest is the creator of all things Hella. It is, and the completely obnoxious junk deck with Dagger. It is HuskyPuppies. How you doing, Husky?
Yo, not too bad. Thank you for having me. It's
a pleasure.
Nice to be here.
How could our friends find you on the various social medias?
You can find me on Twitch. That's about it. Twitch.tv/HuskyPuppies35. I don't have Twitter. I occasionally make appearances on other people's YouTubes. But that's about it. You just catch me live. I go live every 2 days or so for a good amount of time.
Husky is one of those players you watch to be like, how did you make that deck work? And then all of a sudden, that deck that shouldn't have worked is everywhere in the meta for the next 3 months. It's really lovely.
All right. Well, real quick before we jump into a very heavy episode that we have here, I just want to remind our loyal listeners and loyal viewers how to engage with us on social media. Unfortunately, we do. Yes, commentator, I am going to insult Twitter again, like I do each and every week. We are also on Elon Musk's hell site at SnapJudgeCast, but we are much, much more excitedly than anything having to do with Twitter and Elon Musk. We are incredibly grateful to be the official podcasting partner of Marvel Snap Zone. Marvel Snap Zone is the home to the writing and content of Aaron Pulse Glazer, along with many other folks who have been on our fine show many times, from Lauren to Den to many other folks. So we are incredibly grateful to be their official podcasting partner. The one thing we ask is that you join their Discord, which is linked in the description of this episode on both YouTube and your friendly neighborhood podcatcher, where you can join the best large community in all of Marvel Snap Discord. It's awesome. You should join it. Engage with Glazer. Engage with the awesome community. You should definitely do it. If another way to reach us is the snail mail of the internet, our email address, which is snapjudgmentspodcast@gmail.com. So if you have a sort of slower question or concern or comment that you would like to send to us, you can fire it off to that email address. But the most important social we have is our YouTube. We're 6 out of the 7 days each and every week, including when he's on vacation in the Bahamas. There are new videos. There are daily Snap takes. Of course, 1 day of the week is taken up by this podcast, but 6 of the other days of your week are taken up by awesome Snap takes from Glazer and many friends on the Marvel Snap community. Because, Aaron, if our loyal listeners would become our loyal viewers, what would they find on the YouTube right now?
So right now, what you're going to find is GamingwithFlashX and Tuccrr covering some really awesome videos. But if you check out tomorrow, we've got our copycat video. And then Monday, I went and tracked down every player, except one, who finished number 1 for a season on the Infinite Leaderboard and got their deck and got a quote from them. And we're going to take you through the history of Marvel Snap.
That's very, very cool. One more quick thing before we jump into it. You can also support us on Patreon at patreon.com/snapjudgments. If you want to take on people like our friend Butt here in the Snap Judgments League, the only way to do it is through that $1 tier, or of course higher. If you contribute higher, you get exclusive videos, early sneak peeks, all that kind of awesome stuff. But I think the best thing about our Patreon is that it is in many ways a reverse pyramid scheme, because it is how Aaron justifies to himself, to his spouse, and to his small child that he spends money on the community, sponsoring tournaments, sponsoring events. The way he justifies that is he can say, look, I'm getting this money from the Patreon. Why don't we put a little bit more in as well? That's how he does it. So if you want Glazer to keep supporting things like the Snap Judgments League, like the tournaments that Gunny T fires and runs through the Snap Judgments Discord, all kinds of things that happen, please support us on Patreon. And that's patreon.com/snapjudgments. All right, Aaron, I'm going to throw it over to you. What is our plan for this week?
We're going through each series of cards from Series 1 to Series 5, and we're doing a top 5 in each series, with the exception of Series 3, where we're doing a top 10, because there's 7 million Series 3 cards. All good? So, rather than go through every single Series 1 card, I made a list of the ones that I thought were worthy of consideration. So I'm just going to start by saying the first card on the list, and our dear guests will say yes, no, or maybe, and then we'll go through the yeses. So let's start with Kazar.
So just the criteria is yes is good, or yes
is in the list.
Gotcha.
Yes is
so
like,
actually,
I definitely want this in the top 5.
Sure. Can I ask a clarifying question? Because I made 2 lists. I did one.
Oh, you made the list in advance?
I did.
Yeah,
I just thought that, yes. So are we looking at it from the perspective of like, hey, I'm a collection complete player looking to be competitive,
okay,
or
so
is it
I'm a new top
player
meta stuff, not like in pool 1.
Yeah.
These are the cards I would use.
So
Yeah,
I don't
'cause I did
want
both.
to limit
Yeah.
you too much. You can criteria this as much as you want, right? Like, you can
Okay.
weigh how much, like, this matters early. Because, like, I'm just going to give a really, like, Kazar is actually a really great example of that, right? Kazar is insanely important early. That part of the journey matters, right? Like, considering at this point that if you were relatively young into Marvel Snap, and some of our listeners will be, it's like 7 months to get through Series 3, right?
Absolutely.
Like, without being a big spender. So you can count Kazar, like, I want to count it throughout its lifestyle, but that's my personal choice. I'm perfectly fine letting everyone's criteria be slightly different and seeing what comes out in the wash.
So I guess I'll start because Kazar was the top of my list for a new player and did not make top 5 for a competitive player, essentially.
I did it based off of like me, competitive, top level, near top level, somewhere around there. Kazar did not make my list. I also have a slight question. I don't see Carnage on this list.
I think you just
We
put
can
suggestions.
add anything you want to the list. The list is just literally my like quick once through so that we have a starting point for our conversation.
The last time we did a game like this, Glazer also forgot Carnage was a card, and and it ended up on the list of top cards because Carnage is definitely, I think, one of the best and most powerful Series 1 cards.
Yeah, that's a good.
With Glenn Jones on the podcast, I had Rock Slide as a 4 cost when he was already a 3 cost. So, don't worry about it.
Okay. I guess Kazar. Yeah, I agree with Husky. I think it doesn't make the top 5 for collection complete competitive players. I think it's like the best card for a new player climbing.
One. Low collection level Zoo is very strong, especially in Series 1. I mean, it's still decently strong at the top level, but it's I think there's just better stuff on here.
Yeah.
So I'm going to throw a curveball into this. Would Marvel Boy releasing as data mined change your perspective at all?
You would
I
have
don't
to
know what
tell
he
me
is,
what
data
Marvel
mined.
Boy does.
Oh,
Yeah.
3/2. 3 1-cost cards get +1 power at the end of each turn.
I mean that's the one that was super busted, right? It was like
Yeah, it was originally +2 power, which was like, what? And now it's still +1 for 3 1-cost cards at the end of each turn.
yeah, that's still
Starting on its first turn, it's played.
a little
Yeah, starting
busted.
on the first turn.
I don't know how that changes it. I mean, who knows? Arishem being what it is, like it's hard to really see the
I
future.
don't think anyone expected arishem to be this.
Yeah.
So I sort of try to play it by ear. Like, all right, maybe like the week before I'll start thinking, okay, how am I gonna work around this?
Fair.
I feel like it's a little far out, especially we've got balance changes coming up very shortly, and like an OTA, maybe I think another patch and an OTA before it's slated, or maybe
And
one OTA that happened as of this airing. So
Okay.
we're just gonna, like, if anything changes, whatever. That's not our problem right now.
Yeah.
Sorry, dear listener. I'll be in the Bahamas. And then there's another OTA and patch, we believe, in the same week in 2 weeks, and then the new season.
So if we're talking about like zoo decks, though, I mean, if we jump down, Blue Marvel is just better than Khazar.
Oh yeah, 100%.
So you know, if you're gonna put Khazar in the top 5, it's because Blue Marvel's higher. For pool 1, maybe not. But yeah.
Okay,
sorry,
so
ahead, Husky.
then why don't we just each propose a card? So, like, let's say, does anyone want to veto Blue Marvel? Or can we just say Blue Marvel is definitely going to
put Blue Marvel in?
Blue Marvel is definitely one of the most powerful Series 1 cards.
Yeah. That was 2 on my list. Yeah.
All right. Well, Husky, propose us a card.
I'll put the one that isn't in there, Carnage. He's like he's just nuts. He costs 2, very good effect. Goes in, but one of the best destroy cards in destroy, or best cards in destroy, as well as making stuff work outside of destroy. Phoenix Force, you got some like death by 1,000 butts type of decks, and he costs 2, very good effect. He's good.
Any comments about Carnage?
Yeah, he's the single most powerful destroy enabler.
Because of his cost?
Because of his cost, yep. And the fact his power goes up as well, so
it mitigates downsides of other cards.
Yeah.
And destroy is just good at like most levels of the game except extremely high infinite. So it's just always a solid thing. Like when I was thinking about this list, a lot of destroy cards made like, hey, if I was in Series 2, what's a really good card? Or like if I was in Series 3, it's like Venom would be great, or like Deadpool would be great. It's at high infinite, it kind of falls off a little bit, but it's still solid.
He's not great right now, but just Carnage has been making like guest appearances in other decks, like Phoenix Force being the main one.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like he's just I feel like he's good enough to make the top 5.
And something I think we said on the show, and I know like folks at Cam Best are big believers in, that like Marvel Snap is a game of packages, right? That of like groups of cards that you slot in and out. And Carnage is the linchpin of like a destroy package that you could slot into other decks, right? Like, and right now, I think you all are right that he's not as powerful as he's been in the past, but he sadly, like the character in the comics, always returns. Even when Sentry rips him apart and throws him in the sun, he still comes back.
Yeah, and on the topic of packages, can I actually throw out a different card that isn't on this list, but
sure,
I put on mine that is very strong because of packages right now? That's Squirrel Girl.
Oh, yeah, same here.
Yeah, Squirrel Girl has never been as strong as it is right now. I mean, arishem is obviously kind of knocking it down a peg, but just because of Mockingbird and how good Mockingbird is, it makes Squirrel Girl and Mysterio just so much more value than they otherwise would have.
Oh yeah, it's I had him on, or I had her on the top 5 as well.
Yeah,
Squirrel Girl is just really, really nice.
So, but if we're talking about packages, can either of those two cards be above Angela?
Yes.
Angela is number 1 on my list. So no,
I don't.
Really?
Yes.
I think
Like
Angela's
current
at
Angela?
least
Current
better
Angela.
than. Look, she's a 3. She's a 3/7, 3/8. She goes in every Kitty Thena deck, and then like sometimes you're in Elsa, sometimes you're in Hope, whatever. Like that's one of the meta things to be doing.
Wait, Husky, is Blue Marvel 1 on yours?
Yeah, Blue Marvel's up there.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
So
I-
Blue Marvel was 2 for me.
I think
that-
Angela has to at least be above Carnage. I can see an
Oh, I
argument
see
about
that,
Squirrel
yeah.
Girl, but like she's in so many more decks.
Yeah. No, I wouldn't put Squirrel Girl above. I mean, Angela was 1 for me, so I wouldn't put any of these cards above Angela. But I do think Squirrel Girl is solid. I have Squirrel Girl at 4 in my list for competitive players.
Okay.
Mm.
Roy, propose a card because now everyone's proposed a card but you.
Cosmo, my favorite dog.
Yeah.
I think that this card is, even though it's one of those cards that, like, even though it doesn't see any play, it still impacts the meta game in like really powerful ways. And it does still, I mean, obviously does see play in some decks, but it is not at its highest point. But I still think it is objectively one of the most powerful tech cards in the entire game.
It's most recently featured in Woody's Dracula dump deck.
Mhm.
And that it just, I like how backbreaking Cosmo is just against certain matchups. You play it on turn 6, they don't see it coming, you win more. Feels nice.
I completely agree. I think it's actually a super underrated card right now, especially with all the blobs out there. Rogues, everything. It's a high skill cap card. Like I put it on. Actually, it was originally on my top 5, and then I think I bumped it. But I wouldn't put it in the top 5 for like a new player. Because I think you have to be really good at anticipating to really fully use Cosmo. I don't know if Cosmo's as good when you play it out on curve, but as a 6-drop or a 6-turn 6 play, or just a solid read card, it's really strong.
Where I'll disagree with Butt is I actually think it's a great card for new players because it solves a problem. Like if you are annoyed by on reveals, you can just play it and you can feel good about it, right? Like part about being like a mediocre or low skill player is feeling good about the cards you play and like giving people access to, like, if you hate powerful on reveals, boom, you can play Cosmo, right? Or if you have ongoings that you're tired of getting like rogued or enchantress, you can just play Cosmo and then, do your ongoing stuff. And that might not put you at a high infinite, but it will create satisfying experiences for mediocre or worse players. So I actually think Cosmo is kind of like Jeff in the sense that like he is like a high skill cap card. Like while playing Jeff to me is like when people like know when to play Jeff, where to move him, when to take advantage of him. He is a very high skill cap card, but he's also a card that's satisfying to people who aren't as good because they get sick and tired of losing or not being able to play 2 Professor X locations or Sanctum Sanctorums or all these kind of things. So, which Husky does not agree with any of the things that came out of my mouth based on his face, but that is my take. So,
yeah.
So we have 5 cards right now, but I would argue that there's a couple cards on this list that I think are ahead of at least one of them.
All
so
right,
we have Blue. So do we all agree Blue Marvel and Angela are on the list?
I think so.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Okay, so we're at Squirrel Girl, Carnage, and Cosmo are the 3 we're still going to determine. Is anyone like 1,000% sold that those are the 3, or do we have any?
No,
other
I don't think those are. I don't think those are the 3. Husky, I think you have a guess as to what I'm going to toss out.
I'm thinking maybe Iron Man. I was.
Oh, no,
but Iron Man is actually. I didn't think of Iron Man. Iron Man should be on there.
I was just going through the conglomerate deck.
Yeah,
and I was like, that's really, really nice. Like, make that a 4. You mystique that. It's just good.
Can we throw Iron Man ahead of Carnage?
Iron Man's probably like 3 in my mind.
Yeah, I could see Iron Man at 3.
You know what? Iron Man's probably like 1. What am I like? Iron Man's.
Well, all right. So we're saying like, Iron Man over Blue Marvel. Yeah.
So Iron Man, Blue Marvel, Angela. Okay.
Would we go Angela, Blue Marvel?
I think Angela
Yeah.
Blue Marvel. Yeah.
All right.
So I think we have to have Cosmo on this list.
You have to have who?
Cosmo on this list.
Oh,
The-
Cosmo. I
so-
don't think Cosmo makes the top
So
5.
even if we're not constantly playing Cosmo, like, think about how different the meta is if Cosmo doesn't exist.
I mean,
Yeah, but I mean, you could say that about. I don't know. I don't know if I buy that. I
I
mean,
don't know if you
because
can. It's the only on-reveal tech card.
I mean, you got Goliath if you want to
Okay.
be like technical about it.
Sure, but then, yeah, and they work in very similar ways. That's fair.
I just don't think knowing a card doesn't exist is different from it's strong in the meta, I guess. Like,
fair.
obviously, Odin is way more powerful if Cosmo just doesn't exist, but at the same time, no one's really running Cosmo anyway, and Odin decks are not that good.
I don't know if that's true. Like, so I just did that whole, like, look at the top deck thing forever, and Cosmo is in, like, a bunch of the Loki decks that finish at the top, and Cosmo is just in, oh my god, I don't remember. The weird thing that Zunes played to be a bajillion points ahead of everybody.
Well, it's the
Like,
Sarah,
It,
Sarah
it- yeah,
thing.
it's Sarah Surfer. It just runs a Darkhawk package in Cosmo.
I don't know. I don't put it. In my opinion, it doesn't make the top 10. I mean, it's
Ooh,
or
top
sorry,
10,
top 5.
wow.
Top 5.
Okay.
Top 5. Top 5.
This is
I
definitely.
think it's like right in there, but I don't think it beats any of those cards. And I mean, this is a pet card for me, but I was going to throw out Cable.
I feel like Cable's just a little too replaceable in the
Yeah.
stuff that he's in to be like top 5.
So
As someone who's played too much Hela, I absolutely hate Cable, and like, yeah, it's very strong against that sort of combo deck. But
Would you put Cosmo over Cable though?
right now, or like all time?
In general,
you're sort of
I don't
trying
know
to
what the
balance
rule
those
is.
two as best you can. Because remember, this is Marvel Snap. So in 2 weeks, the meta will shift. So there's a general power level and right now.
I guess because Cable's less good into arishem. So
Yeah,
I was
that's
thinking
my
more
main
like
thing.
generally, but
So I've got a different card I want to throw as a consideration. We're really not going to talk at all about Forge?
nah.
Nah.
Good
Really?
in Surfer. Surfer's
Yeah,
great.
that's about
Great.
it. He's-
It's
Good
great
in
in Surfer.
Destroy, but I don't think it cracks top. Nah.
Is it in Destroy
Okay.
still?
No.
Oh, good
It's
point.
like
Yeah,
you got
fine,
Nico
Destroy.
in there, and
Yeah.
that's just
I haven't
like
played
you run
Destroy in a long
Nico's.
time.
Okay.
it's like
Alright.
it's a fine part of one deck, but like
Yeah.
I think honestly you could probably cut it from Surfer. I don't think you should,
I
but
mean,
like I think Surfer would
you
still be
definitely should.
playable.
Sure, but I don't think Surfer would be tier 1 without that. Or like close enough to tier 1 beyond the Arishem bullshit, which knocked everything down from where Arishem's peg, right? Like before Arishem, Surfer was a real deck.
I mean, Surfer still is a real deck.
Yeah,
I
it's-
mean,
It's fine. It's just not competing with good Arishem.
well, yeah, it's not Arishem or Darkhawk, so it's
Right.
in that next group. But I don't know.
Nice.
I don't think that's enough in my mind to put it into the top 5.
No, it's Forge. No, there's better stuff on here.
All right. Is there anything else that we really want to add? Because then we only have one card to cut. We have 6 cards right now. We have Iron Man, Angela, Blue Marvel locked in. And then we have Squirrel Girl, Carnage, and Cosmo as the last 3. My cut would be Carnage.
Wait. What are our 4 locked in? We have
3 locked in.
we have 3 locked in. Okay.
3 locked in are Blue Marvel, Squirrel Girl. Oops, I wrote this
And
in the wrong
Angela,
place like
okay.
a mark. And
Or Iron
Mar-
Man. It was
Yeah,
Iron Man, Blue Marvel.
Iron Man, Angela, Blue Marvel in that order.
Okay.
And those
I
are
mean,
our
And
top
I think it was
3.
Angela Blue Marvel.
Yeah,
the
Iron Man, Angela, Blue Marvel. And then we have Squirrel Girl, Carnage, and Cosmo, and one's got to go.
I think
Why don't we just
Cosmo's
each say
gotta
which
go.
one it is? I would cut Carnage.
I would say Cosmo's going. Like,
Yeah, I don't think it's for me. That's not hard. It's like
Really? Okay.
there.
like I put
I just-
Cosmo on my top
I
5
think Cosmo's
because
in
I forgot
better.
about Angela.
I think Cosmo is just in better decks than Destroy.
I think Carnage is in
But
better
Carnage
decks than
is in
Destroy.
other. Yeah, Carnage is in
That's fair.
decks other than
You
Destroy.
guys, I forgot I'm talking to Phoenix Force lovers. Okay, fine.
Well, I don't know. I wouldn't register myself as a Phoenix Force lover, but
Well, then
Husky
where are
Dog
you
is.
playing Carnage, really, now?
I like it. I mean, the Death by 1,000 Butts, like
Yeah.
any of the, right
Yeah.
now I'm playing it in what's that new card? I'm already forgetting the name.
Ajax.
I'm playing in an Ajax deck. I like it. Like in my, in general with all the Quag stuff out there, I think it's got a whole lot of extra value.
All right. I'll battle that. Sure. Carnage or Squirrel Girl? In order.
Squirrel Girl, then Carnage.
Squirrel Girl, then Carnage. Mockingbird is nuts.
Yeah, Mockingbird's too good.
Mockingbird is what I would argue is the... Well, we'll get there. Series 2 cards to consider. Can I start out by just proposing Shang-Chi?
Yeah,
that's
There's no way we're going to do this list and not have Shang-Chi on it.
Yeah.
Like, I think the Series 2 stuff is too small for there to even be a debate.
Excuse me. I should probably get to the right slide. Yeah.
Yep.
I think that is all the Pool 2 cards.
Series 2
on the screen.
Sucked. I was looking at this and I was like, there's two good... Well, there's two cards that are universally good, and then one card that is really good right now that I hate, which I think we can all guess what that one is.
Leech?
Yes.
Yeah. Nobody likes Leech.
No. Did I write Storm twice? Good job. Is Storm really not on this list?
No.
I don't have it in mind.
Especially against Arishem, it's like you're playing a turn 3 2-power thing against their, next turn they're going to play a 5.
5 cost, yeah.
But it means they probably aren't Doc Ocking you.
I mean, they could just do that in
4
another lane. And then...
They can do that on 5 like a normal deck.
No.
And still
I really hate Arishem. Like, I spent a week being like, wait and see. And I was playing for like 2 hours today and I was like, I'm having negative fun at this point. This is ridiculous.
Yeah, I don't get tilted at Marvel Snap, except like right now is the only time I feel myself getting tilted. All because of Arishem.
Not fun. I tried playing it and I was like, this doesn't feel fun. Yeah, whatever. We can move past that.
So like Shang is 1, Killmonger 2?
Yeah, Killmonger is the clear second in my mind.
Okay.
It gets a little murky for me, like the 3, 4, 5, and maybe even 6.
Yeah.
But like right now in the meta, probably Leech at 3.
That's what I had.
Let's assume that they do something to fucking Arishem at some point. Like, this card isn't going to exist. They're not going to let Leech on 4 exist as a thing in Marvel Snap. It might be, like, let's try and have a slightly broader view than, like, Leech is myopic. Whenever Leech is good, Leech is, like, amazing, right? It changes everything whenever it's good. But, like, they never let it stay good for long. It's one of those cards that they're clearly like, we just want this to be in a weak place. We want it to exist, but be kind of shit.
So I think if no Leech, if we assume that Leech is, sort of returned to the closet and just
1 foot in the grave or something like that.
Yeah, I think the 3 for me, and I think there's a huge drop off here. I think it would be Vision.
I think Jubilee is better than Vision.
Not right now.
I don't think so.
Like, what are you playing Jubilee in?
Assuming you're visioning on 5. Blink decks. Various blink decks.
I just don't think blink decks are that good. And I love blink.
I haven't seen a blink in a hot minute.
There's some blink Darkhawk floating around that's been fine.
I don't play it against it too often. So I mean, I don't know.
Unless you're talking about the combo, then blink is
the combo.
That's pretty good.
The combo.
Yes. Like I said, I love blink. I just don't think it competes right, like in general.
So, if we're doing current meta, does that mean that Vulture has to be on the list?
Kind of, but I still don't think Vulture's... I wish.
I think he misses the cut by like 1 or 2.
Yeah.
As much as I love him in like small move stuff, sort of bouncy stuff, but...
Yeah, Husky and I both love bounce moves.
So I think the power level of all these cards is fucking completely flat.
I think Morbius and Sandman have... Like, they have stuff behind them. They're not, like, great at the moment, but they're cards.
I mean, sure. Yeah, I think Iceman has stuff behind him. He's not great at the moment. Jubilee has stuff behind her. She's not great at the moment. Like, Storm has been in a million meta decks. Not great at the moment. Infinite, same concept, right? Like, that's literally true of almost every card here.
No, I agree. I think Pool 2 is, besides Shang and Killmonger, a bunch of just okay cards.
does number 3 have to be Sunspot by like default?
I don't even have
I don't
Sunspot
think
in my
so.
top 5.
I did not consider him.
It's
Yeah.
just a decent card.
It is a decent card. It's just the decks that you play Sunspot in all kind of just
Don't exist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, okay, you can
Right.
put it in High Evo, but High Evo is just awful.
We
Yeah.
had like half a week of She-Hulk double up stuff that Sunspot was doing, and then Arishem came out.
Yeah, but I think
When-
that was a skill diff thing where it was
When was-
Woody carrying the stats on that deck.
Oh, okay.
It's fair.
If it's Woody,
It's fair.
Yeah, I don't know
Ooh,
how.
Woody, never heard of him.
Yeah.
What you got in the top 5?
So
I
I
did-
think it was for me. It's Shane, Killmonger, Leech, Vision, Sandman.
I had the same thing, except I had like Morbius and Sandman as a toss-up at 5.
Yeah,
Just because
Yeah.
I don't really respect traditional discard as like something I have to be scared of, but like that card is just very good in that deck.
Sandman has to be above Morbius. Morbius has
I have it up. Yeah. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
like. There's no way Sandman can go above. Like, is Sandman honestly better than Jubilee?
Yes.
Yes.
Really?
Yeah. I
Oh,
don't
yeah,
think
it's-
close.
So I think it's interesting because we did a similar activity with W and Lambie fairly recently, and they were like completely ignored current context, and I had to keep being like, well, current context, and I feel like you two don't care about like
I
all, like the general power, and you're like only current context, and like now I'm like, but the general power level, and so like I think that balance is really interesting.
I think
don't know
Jubilee's best deck was Hela, and rest in peace. I think it has fallen off with Hela like a fair bit.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't know if Jubilee's peak in any deck ever hit like Sandman's peak. Like I think historical Sandman was
Well, that's a
stronger
totally
than
different card,
historical
though.
Jubilee. Yeah, sure, but I mean, if we're looking at it in current context or in past context, I still don't think Jubilee's better.
Okay.
I think
So
Iceman
Vision-
deserves. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
So Vision would be number 3. We're gonna just lock that in. Yeah.
I
Or
would-
did you had Leech ahead of Vision?
Yeah, Leech.
Do we
Yeah.
honestly have to? Can we just skip Leech on principle?
Yes.
You can
I
like
love
put a
that.
little asterisk in.
Oh, I love that.
Fine, all right. Let's throw
Yeah.
Leech at 5. Fine.
Yeah.
Fucking hate that card. I hate Leech.
I'm with you.
You may hate him, but he's good.
He's.
Yeah, I
Great.
hate him too, but
Yeah.
he is.
I mean, he's the. God, what second best 5 in that stupid deck? All right.
Yeah, that's
Third.
I don't know.
Well,
Is
you got,
Doc
like-
or Leech better?
Oh.
That's
I was thinking like Bird and then Doc.
Doc, and then Mockingbird. Yeah.
I guess that's true. Mockingbird's in that deck. I don't even count it as a 5-drop mentally.
Yeah.
It's
really.
never a 5. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, you just casually accidentally drop something that didn't start in your deck. It's very dumb. All right, so then what did you two? You had Sandman at number 4.
I had Sandman at
Is there-
5. I had Vision at 4.
Is there
Vision
any
at 4, Sand
chance?
at 5.
Is there any chance I can convince you that Vulture has had more recent success than Sandman? Because
Yeah.
it
Oh
has.
no, 100%. But I was also trying to make it like today. I think Vulture is better, are in better decks. But I think Sandman is in more decks that are decent. Like, I don't know. I think
I'd rather
Sandman
have the
is a
ceiling of
better
Vulture than a
card.
bad Sandman deck.
I guess Sandman is like a fundamental part of the deck Sandman is in, whereas Vulture is like not your best line in Vulture deck.
I'd say he's like the Deathlock of move.
Oh, that's a great.
Sure, but there's still
comparison.
literally 3 move cards. 4
Yeah,
if you want to count
but-
multiple men, right? But we're not talking.
Right.
I don't count multiple, man.
Yeah, I don't count
Yeah.
multiple. So like, there's literally 3 of them. Like, this isn't the same exact thing, right? Like, Vulture's still sitting there being a 3, like 17 half the time, or whatever the
Sure.
math in that is.
No, I like Vulture.
I think
just,
Vulture.
Yeah.
I think Vulture's just a better card than Sandman. Like, not only is it better, it's just like the decks that play Vulture are better decks than the decks that play Sandman.
I mean, I like them better, definitely. I just think Sandman is pivotal to
No,
the decks that play
Sandman
Sandman,
just
where you can
breaks a
replace
lot of
Vulture.
decks that.
Sure, but like so does Cosmo. And we just had that whole exact same conversation about like why Cosmo's
Cosmo locks a lane. Even then,
Cosmo
you can still get power behind it.
Sure, Cosmo wins certain matchups, right?
Yeah.
Sandman wins certain matchups.
Wong, yeah, but so does like half the tech cards.
That's fair.
I just think like you can take Vulture out of decks with Vulture, like move.
I don't think you
bounce,
can.
Move.
I don't think you can.
I don't know. I think you can. Like I
just
don't know if I put.
There's not a third card. You just don't have enough movers without it.
Well, so I guess if we're talking, I mean, Sage is the replacement for Vulture.
Yeah. Sage is the replacement. Okay, fine.
And I don't know if Vulture is necessarily better than Sage. In those decks,
I could live with that. Fine, Sandman at 4 because Leech is automatically 5.
Yeah,
I genuinely think Vulture is better.
I don't think you're wrong about Vulture's like good. Yeah,
6, maybe 7.
I think Iceman deserves a shout out. I just don't think
I love
makes
Iceman.
the cut. Yeah.
I think he just doesn't. Yeah, I don't think he does enough that you see.
Yeah,
when bounce decks cut him, he just doesn't go in any decks anymore.
Yeah, I mean, especially with Arishem, right? Iceman just says you play the game normally instead of you have
one of your cards is a normal card.
Yeah.
Your other stuff is still Arishem.
Fair. All right, let's go to Series 3.
Right.
This is our top 10. So ready yourself.
Oh, we're doing 10. Okay.
Yeah. Series 3 is a lot of cards. So, okay, can I just propose that Dr. Octopus has to be on this list at this point?
But I hate it.
I mean, sure, I hate Leech on it too.
He's top, but I think he's on the list.
I don't think he's necessarily top. I did not make a list. I prefer to figure it out as we go. So I just know that I would be shocked if we did 10 cards, and in the current meta between the junk decks and the Arishem decks, Dr. Octopus was not on that list.
Yeah, I had him at 4, but it was also because I hate him, and so I knocked him down 2, probably. I think he's 2.
I have him around 5 or so.
All right.
It's I think he's very, very solid right now.
Propose us a card.
I think Coulson is just
okay.
I didn't in Arishem right now, in Loki historically, shockingly good. The thing he gives you cards that you can play, and also cards that you would not run and people don't play around. Mm-hmm. And I have gotten just absolutely killed by the randomest tech card that nobody would ever run, but Coulson gave it to him. I've gotten leeched while playing Hela a lot with Coulson.
Go ahead.
But
I was just gonna say I didn't even have Coulson on my list, and the more I'm looking at it, the more I like. That's a solid. That's in this 6 to 10 range, but it's got to be in the 6. It's got to be there. I don't think it's top 5, but
it's not better than Doc Ock, but it's on the list.
It's not doing anything huge and flashy, but it is just a very solid card.
Yeah.
I mean, Loki has died off a bit, so it's less so, but I feel like I'd be snubbing him of a spot if I at least didn't mention him. I don't think top 5, but
yeah.
He might be. We'll get there. We don't have to worry about the exact number yet. He's below Doc Ock, though. Yes?
Yes.
Probably.
Right. Dr. Octopus is one of the most frustrating cards in Marvel Snap right now.
I mean, it might actually be one, and I just am in denial. I don't know.
So, I mean, look, my personal number 1 has no business being at number 1, but it should be on the list. Beast belongs on this list.
I don't hate it. I mean, I didn't have it in my top 10, but it probably should be, right?
I put him down as a consideration. I didn't really rank him, but I could.
Woody just rolled with a bounce deck.
Well, that's because it's Woody.
That's Woody.
Sure, lots of people are. I've got a 70%.
I would say not many people are Woody. It's more one of a kind type of thing.
Fair. No, but many people are succeeding with bounce. Gnome was playing a beast deck. Right?
Yeah.
I'm succeeding with the beast deck. Beast is perfectly fine in the meta right now.
Yeah. Can I throw out what my number 1 was? And I don't know if it is the number 1, but I just think it's so defining. So I put
Sarah.
No,
really?
Surfer, yeah. I had him up there.
Yeah.
Not one. I think I might actually go with like Mystique near the top. I feel like
Mystique
that's
has to be on this list. Yes.
Yeah.
But Surfer is definitely up there.
So Surfer and Mystique are on the list for sure. Is Sarah on the list?
No. Not mine. Not mine.
I didn't think of Sarah. Like I saw her just scrolling through the cards, and I was like, eh.
There's a lot of Series 3 cards, is the thing I learned
There
from
are.
this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mysterio is on the list though, yes?
Yeah, Mysterio 2 for me.
Yeah, Mysterio's got to be near the top.
Yeah,
Mysterio
he
is
was
just totally unique.
Second card I did a little star next to.
Yeah.
Shadow King.
That's on my top 5.
I had him up there.
So we're at 7,
Oh,
assuming that we're keeping what we have. Okay, so does Absorbent Man belong here?
I don't think so.
I think he's just outside. I don't think he would be there if it was Series 2, but he doesn't. There's too many Series 3 cards.
Like, he's doing the best stuff with like Justin Surfer, I think. Well, granted, Surfer is also doing only stuff in Surfer, but
Yeah, but Surfer is Surfer, whereas, I would not be shocked, by the way, if Absorbent Man starts finding his way into arishem decks. This game has a lot of on reveals.
It already does, right? You blob
Sometimes.
Absman. Or
So, yes, it has a home, but I'm not seeing it in many of the ones that are being shared out. Wait, what? Quinjet? Yes?
I had it on
how
there,
is Quinjet not there?
It's like
It's
8 to
bottom,
10.
but it's there. Yeah.
Yeah.
it's like I don't know. I don't know about Quint.
So here's my.
I like Quinjet on there, but
It's
here's
insane
my
in
reason
Loki.
why it's like 8 to 10 is because, like when I talk to a lot of, because I'm not playing Arishem. Like I played day 1 and then I was obviously busted, so I was like, all right, I'm not going to play this anymore. But talking to a lot of the people who do play a lot of Arishem, I don't know if there's agreement on whether or not you put Quinjet in Arishem or not.
I'll tell you this. I've got like almost all of the top 10 players' Arishem decks, and it's in all but one. The problem is it's a choice between that and Echo, right? Like, but it's in right now all of the top 10 players' Arishem decks. I don't know whether that means it belongs there or not, but like, I've obviously been stalking decks because that's what I do, right? So like, it's in like all of them right now. Like one person, and it's not like a super well-known player, but maybe I can find it. One person does not have it in right now, and that person is Batman 99.
Yeah, and he's one of the people who was arguing about whether or not it's in there. And
is this I know where this conversation's happening then. Okay, go ahead.
But I don't know. And then like it's the same thing. It's like with Loki. Like I am terrified of Quinjet Loki, but then you talk to Loki players, and it's like, okay, if it's a mirror, it's like it's Quinjet. Quinjet is bad. Like whoever plays Quinjet in the mirror for Loki. So it's like, okay,
sure, but only in the mirror.
Yeah, no, but so, and Loki's obviously not as prevalent anymore. So, but like pure Loki, not like Arishem Loki. To me, it makes the top 10, but it's not like an automatic top 10.
What else is in the top 10? I'm not putting negative there. Okay, that's fine. I'm not putting negative in the top 10. I just wanted to be clear.
I don't know if I don't know. Mr. Negative deserves a shout out. I don't know if it makes it.
I know it deserves recognition, but it's not actually
shout out, but not top 10.
A lot of people are playing Mr. Negative right now. Somewhat. It's one of the things that does okay into Arishem.
Yeah. Sure, but that's like the only real reason it's being played.
It does okay into Arishem when it plays Mr. Negative.
Yeah.
I would say it does okay into most everything when it plays Mr. Negative, save like Clog, Sandman.
Right.
Maybe a couple others.
I mean, there is that thena like combo negative deck where it's like
I've seen that.
Angela, thena.
That's the Dubos thing. Yeah,
Dubos has been running it, and it's pretty good. I mean, he's been doing really well with it. I think that's a cool deck. So I don't know if it's like you don't even need Mr. Negative to win with that deck. It's a little more consistent, but a little less top end. It's like it doesn't high roll quite as much, but I don't know. I think it's a solid card right now. It's probably not in the top 10, but it's probably right in the 11 to 15 range.
Does Hood make it?
I think it's an 11.
That's an
I think it's
interesting.
outside.
Hood's really good.
Yeah.
I didn't have it on here just because, like, I didn't think Annie stuff is really in right now. If we're going, like, past few months included, yeah, I think Hood is pretty dang. And is Sentry in 3 right now?
I don't.
Sentry
think
is
so.
in 3, but I don't
it is?
think Sentry is as good as an 8.
No.
Just out of my curiosity.
I mean,
Sentry's
today
good.
Hood goes
feels
in more
good.
decks.
Hood goes in
Today
a lot
is
more.
the day of whatever it's called, the release of Ajax, and it feels good today. I feel like those Annie decks are solid today, but I wouldn't say in general, just because everyone's playing Ajax stuff.
Sure, but Hood goes in various other bullshit, right? Like, and
Like
Hood doesn't
bounce,
have to go
yeah.
into a full Annie deck. Hood goes in bounce, and Hood can just go into, like, a quick 3-card Annie package. It doesn't have to be, like, the, oh my god, I'm running all the Annie shit deck.
I could
Someone
buy
needs to try Annie bounce again, just for the record. No one's played that in months, as far as I can tell. And
Like
it's
Annie Werewolf bounce?
Yeah, Annie Werewolf bounce.
I think
Werewolves
Woody
is
tried it. Didn't feel great.
bad.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
If he,
I think I tried it as well.
it would have had to have been like a couple seasons ago if he did, because it
No, I mean,
wasn't
I think
on his like stuff.
I think he just played it like in a Discord with us.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
It was like it was around the. I think I think he did play it on stream back when Werewolf got buffed.
Yeah.
It was bad though.
When
just
Werewolf
wasn't
was
good.
first buffed, it was like a really harsh meta for it. I'd be curious to revisit because Werewolf is. I know you guys are not playing a lot of Werewolf, but Werewolf is very good right now.
Really?
Yeah. So
That
I've got a
seems weird in the
70%
clog.
I've still got a 70. You just run for 1 on the clock match, but like against anything else, you've got real play. So I've got a 70% win rate with it, and Geo just climbed to top 50 in like 2 hours with it from rank 200.
Well, Geo just skill diffs. I don't,
Sure, but like
Yeah.
I don't, and I've got a 70% win rate in, generally speaking, around top 500 for the past 3 seasons. And so like,
well, all right. I haven't
I
had luck.
like
with
you
it,
just
but
like I just like if I even like slight like well hey if you can read where their Doc is and you have Prio, you just make sure your Werewolf is in that lane, and then you don't necessarily auto lose that lane, right? But like it's otherwise just like nothing that's not running Clog right now is really like interacting with it enough to beat it.
I feel like right now, if you play a deck, you have to have an answer for arishem and you have to have an answer for Clog.
So it answers arishem. I'm running instead of the Annihilus package, I'm just running Darkhawk and Shadow.
But I still think you need a Clog answer. I think you need both.
No, I just run from Clog. No, I don't. It's ladder. Why do you need a Clog answer? Like you play like you're playing Clog at most 1 out of every 7 or 8 games. You just run. You play if they don't see their shit. Sometimes you win, and if they do see their shit, you run.
All right. I just
Like
all right.
that's like you don't have to beat every deck on ladder. Like that'll always be the lesson of the season that BBAK finished first, where like he finished the last week of the season with everyone on Earth playing Agent Coulson and Thanos. He finished him first with negative, and he just said, as popular as this is, it's 1 out of every 5 games, and then they have to actually see it, know what I'm doing, and play it. And if they don't, I win. Like, you don't have to beat everything. Like, I wouldn't play a deck
I would
right
agree
now
that
with
you don't have
Arishem's
to beat
popularity.
everything, but Clog is very popular. I don't know. I mean, if it's working for you, stick with it.
Yeah, look,
Yeah.
I would not. Look, the win rate on the deck overall is abysmal, and people that really like bounce are doing really well with it. So I don't know what that means. But like I've sent it to a bunch of different people, and whenever they stream it, I'm like, I wouldn't do that, I wouldn't do that, I wouldn't do that. And then they lose, and they're like, this deck is terrible. And if you check the win rate, it's terrible. And then like you talk to like the bounce players who really like it, they're like, oh, I have a 65 to 70% win rate consistently. It's completely ridiculous. I don't understand exactly why. Either way,
All right.
We can move on from that and put Debris on the list.
Oh, Debris. Oh,
It's sort of Debris or Deadpool.
Well, can I throw another card out that's not even on this?
Sure.
Another pet card, Juggernaut.
That's
I don't know if
an
it
interesting
belongs
one.
in the top 10, but I think that's another high skill
not
cap card
right.
that.
That is like I've been seeing him a decent bit, and you've traumatized me with it, but I might actually remember that he exists next time we play, because I am notoriously bad about forgetting about Juggernaut. Oh my god!
I think it's the one like a lot of high end like I think you find it like a lot of really good players really like Juggernaut.
Yeah.
So I don't know if he makes
can't
the
be on
top
the
10,
list.
but I think he deserves a shout out.
Yeah.
What
Okay,
about
I can see the shout out.
what about Death?
I thought about
mean,
that too.
Is Death better than both Venom and Deadpool for the purposes of this list?
I
Death
think
goes
so.
in more decks.
I think so.
Yeah, Death goes in more
Okay.
decks.
So look, we're officially at 10, so Death would have to go over something if Death makes it.
Yeah, I don't think it goes over anything. What's our
Is
10?
there- Let's go through the 10 so far, and then we have to order it. Doc Ock, Coulson, Beast, Silver Surfer, Mystique, Mysterio, Shadow King, Quinjet, Brood, Debris.
I don't know if it goes over any of those.
I don't think it does right now, at least.
Can I make an argument that I don't like making?
Yeah, go for
Doc
it.
Ock is the best of these cards right now.
I probably
The only
agree,
thing close is
unfortunately.
Mysterio.
I think Mysterio and Mystique, but I think you're right. I also hate Doc Ock, and I think it's clearly the best.
Like, it's in the two best decks in the game. Like, as the key piece, or a major key piece for both of the two best decks in the game.
I guess you could make an argument for Debris, maybe, but I don't think so.
I don't think
don't
Debris
know.
at 1.
No, I don't think so either.
Doc Ock at 1. Are we okay with Mysterio at 2?
I think so.
Sure. Yeah, let's do that.
Which is Mystique 3. I'm lower on Mystique than you guys are, I think.
I think Surfer's 3.
I think Surfer goes in 3. I
I
like
can live
that.
I can live with Surfer in 3. Okay. Yeah, Surfer's just a deck unto himself that's phenomenal. All right. So 4 now, I think we hit a point, I think, where the power level is sort of flat. I could see Mystique being 4, I could see Beast being 4, I could see Coulson being 4, I could see Debris being 4.
I think Debris is next.
I could see Debris being next.
Debris, enables your Mockingbird. It's in Quag. It's
That's
in
a ridiculous card right now.
yeah. It's in those Ajax decks. Not that those are necessarily meta relevant, but
Well, they will be for a week.
yeah.
I think Coulson should probably be next. I think Coulson's a more important card than Mystique right now.
I don't know. I think Mystique's next in my mind. Honestly, I
really
like
Coulson's
call
just in arishem right now.
Well, and Loki. Like, Loki decks still exist and are good, just because people aren't playing them. Like, just because Tanjo is taking his week 1 vacation from the game like he always does.
I don't know if it's a week 1 vacation.
Yeah.
Oh, you think he's gone?
I don't think he's gone, but it's not a week 1 vacation.
Really? Alright. Well, I hope he's not gone. I really like him. Okay. I think... You honestly think Mystique is better than Coulson right now? Like, I just think the games where in Arishem you see Coulson early give you so much more power.
You can what's it called? Mystique on Iron Man, Mystique on Blob, Mystique on Darkhawk.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the thing
fine.
the reason I put it over Coulson is because, like, secretly, or like thanks to Arishem, everyone forgot how busted the thena package is.
Yeah. Well,
not the
thena,
the Ravonna package, but I mean, that's
I know
of
what you mean. It's the same package. They all go in the same package.
Yeah.
All right, is Coulson next? Because what's left is Coulson, Beast, Shadow King, Quinjet, Brood. Quinjet's last on this list, right?
Probably.
Coulson, Beast. I actually like that order. Beast, Shadow King, Brood.
Is Shadow King too low?
Could be. Shadow King's amazing right now. Shadow King is like a real cube stealer because everyone just does Shang-Chi math now.
It's hard to put tech cards in conjunction with other cards because they're just so specifically tech
If we're
cards.
talking about cards that fucking have lost me games, I've lost like 16 cubes, something stupid today, to generated fucking Chiaras on the last turn of the game.
Yeah, I might.
It's been
I don't know.
real fun. I've
What do
had
you think,
3
Husky?
separate generated Chiaras into my Shang-Chi today.
What was that, Butt?
What do you think? I feel like Shadow King might be next.
Shadow King
Shadow
over
King-
Beast? I think Beast.
I could see Beast or Shadow King.
I do think
I don't
we're
know.
kind of
I don't-
pushing Coulson too low somehow, but at the
I
same
feel like
time,
we are, but like,
I don't know what I'd put
we
it
can
over,
is
put
really
over
the
it.
card to lower would be Debris if we're lowering a card.
Debris is just too much.
Debris.
It's too like.
Mhm.
Yeah, I don't know. It's in
I
too
don't think
much
Clog
right now.
works without Debris.
Well, yeah, she's
Is a
Yes.
thing.
there's nothing else that does what she does, right?
It's weird because like Debris is just ass on its own, but it's just so
Mhm.
good in the things it's good in.
So our list as of now, and I'm fine just leaving this in, so we can call it Doc Ock, Mysterio, Silver Surfer, Debris, Mystique, Agent Coulson, Beast, Shadow King, Brood, Quinjet.
I want to give an honorable mention to Dagger, just because, like,
You
Is
shocking.
Dagger season
Yeah.
series 3?
Yes.
Oh yeah. Okay.
no, yeah, it's Stefan made the
all series?
the small move
Yeah.
Ravonna stuff that was cool. I've got my Doc Ock Dagger, which I very much enjoy, and then there's Move Bounce.
I thought
So
Dagger
I-
was
Another
series 4
honorable
for some
mention
reason,
card.
but yeah, no, Dagger might even crack it. I don't know.
No. Dagger's not a better card than Quinjet right now.
Mm,
But honorable mention to Rogue, which is in every goddamn deck right now.
yeah, Rogue deserves a shout out. Is Dagger better than Quinjet?
No.
I don't know. I don't play enough
Dagger-
Arishem to know
Yeah,
if
I guess that's
if
true. We're
Quinjet
not the right
goes
people.
in
Yeah.
Arishem.
Like it's also that like Arishem doesn't super duper give a shit about Dagger. And like if we're taking anything like historical into account, then it's not even close.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, because Dagger historically didn't do anything. But
yeah. It's I feel like it's
mean,
moving up. I don't know
The,
where it is.
the
but
historically best series 3 is probably Shuri or Sarah.
I mean, yeah, Sarah is like 1 probably.
Yeah.
Or Doom. Doom is. I mean, Doom
Doom's
is.
up there, yeah. Magneto is still a phenomenal
I mean,
card.
Magneto was on my top 10 list just straight up, but I don't know if it was
I could put
right.
Magneto
I don't
over
think
Quinjet.
he's.
I don't think he is.
I don't know what is he
forgot
just
about
right now.
Nothing.
I
He
just
has
forgot
no
about too many cards. Is really what it was.
home. He has no home. All right,
I mean, you could,
let's move
you could
on
talk
to
about Wong too. I don't think Wong makes it, but that's an honorable mention.
Look, Namora is really good into Arishem. Like, shockingly good into Arishem. I don't know why, but it is.
Yeah, I'm
If
not
any
really
of
a
you can figure it
Namora
out.
believer, but
So, I literally look at every Namora deck and go, this is going to be terrible. And then I play it and I win a bunch of cubes, and I don't know why.
sorry, I like Namora as a card. I don't really like the Namora Odin deck.
Oh, I
Very
don't. Yeah,
much.
I run it in some weird deck BBAK sent me.
Hmm.
But like,
Sure.
it's not that package. But like, look, if every time you check the high infinite win rates, the Wong Odin thing, the safety blade one, the Slayer blade, whatever the hell he called that one, the One Piece, that thing is in like one of the top win rates and top 10% infinite. Always
It's tough though. Untapped stops are so like it's weird because
weird. Yes.
I don't know. I don't know how accurate. Like, I mean, obviously, you have to question. It's about what slice it's taken from. Even if you narrow it to top 10%, well, that's
Mhm.
it's not really high infinite, right? I mean, you get
yeah.
it's yeah. I don't know.
Yeah.
I do not have as much faith in just like that sort of stats as I think most people do.
So I don't know if it's faith. I think like because I don't actually believe in it generally either, right? Like, my favorite deck has a 47% win rate. I've got a 70% win rate in more games than anything else. So, like, I totally get that. But I don't think it's about just taking stats at face value. I think it's about looking at as many different sources for information as you can and trying to parse a lot of different information.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, I buy that.
Right. Let's do Series 4.
This is a small list.
Yeah, this
I
one's
mean,
a little
look, there's
easier.
probably more to add. Series 4 just isn't huge. Series 5 is stupid big. We could have done a top 10 for Series 5, except I felt like, can we just pour one out for Zabu before we start?
Yeah.
Nah.
Yeah.
I'm fine with him being
No,
dead.
I want to pour one out for Old Snowguard. I'm the only one who liked that card.
Wait, which old Snowguard?
The OG
Like-
Snowguard.
Oh, God.
I played OG Snowguard.
Safety played that, too. That card was atrocious.
I love that card.
You think Butt plays like the top meta stuff?
No,
Nah,
I play the
he's on
stupid
some
stuff.
jank shit. That's,
Yeah.
All right,
I mean, I think number one's obvious, right?
Yeah, it's Dark Oak.
Yeah.
it's gotta be. Just like
I mean-
that is, if there was not Darkhawk in this meta, I don't know what would happen, and
I
I
would
shiver to think about
Probably
it.
not be able to play Marble Snap at all.
Yeah.
Ravona has
I
to
had
be
that
on
as
this list.
two.
I have that as 3. I have Mobius as 2.
I swapped
I think-
Mobius and Ravona.
Hey, I think Ravona's better right now.
That's fine. I think those are those. Yeah, I think
those
it's 1A
are
or 2A,
those are
2B.
easy.
Yeah.
And after that, I think we actually have arguments.
I
Kitty.
think 4 is Kitty.
I have Kitty too. Okay,
Yeah.
I
don't
thought I
think
was gonna have to fight
think,
for Kitty.
I think it's
I
those
think Kitty.
4.
Okay, Kitty might be better than Mobius.
I don't know. I think Mobius is
Kitty
really
might
good.
be
wouldn't
better than
say that.
Mobius.
Either
What's Mobius
way,
in
though,
right now?
I would agree that those 4 are the clear top 4. You can argue about the order, and then after that, it's open. But I
mean,
think there's a
it's-
huge gap between.
After that, it's either Legion or Phoenix Force. Although
What
you
Ghost
could
Spider?
actually- Ghost Spider's worth listening to, yeah, because he's in that deck.
I put Phoenix Force, and I don't feel great about it. So, I mean, I
I
don't
had
know.
Ghost Spider at 5 and then like Legion at 6.
But you're a Ghost Spider lover, so
Oh yeah,
I have a Legion over Ghost Spider.
Ghost Spider is it's one of my pet cards. You guys might think it's too high, but I'm like, oh, this card's cool. Look at all these cool things I can do. I can
yeah.
pull the
I'm
Titania over, flip it
What?
into the lane, and clog
Do
them.
you-
and it's,
Wait,
Love
do you
that
know what Madame Web does?
yes.
Because I'm
That's the one
very
that, like,
excited
moves
to watch
stuff
you figure out
or
Madame
whatever?
Web. Yeah, it's ongoing. You could just move a card away from there every turn.
That's busted. That card's busted.
It's completely fucking broken. Yeah. I'm very excited for that card to exist for 2 weeks before they're like, oh, we can't have this. I can't put Ghost Spider above Legion
Why not?
because Legion on turn 4 is completely stupid.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
in
it's-
Arishem, it's stupid. I think Phoenix Force is, in my mind, 5.
You made
though.
me put Leech on. I want Legion. I could put Phoenix Force over Legion or
But Legion
Ghost
is not
Spider.
as good as Leech or Darkhawk in Arishem.
Oh no, yeah, it's-
So no. It wins more cubes than Leech.
well, yeah, but that's just
Maybe not.
like on specific locations.
It feels
like,
cubes
yeah,
more, but
yeah,
but
bar with no name,
Leech
yeah.
just wins
I mean,
games.
there's just a lot of ways to win with Legion right now. All right, so I'm fine
Limbo.
Phoenix Force because this list is very easy.
Yeah. Yeah,
Phoenix
I don't
Force?
think.
Like on
I
the
mean-
exact same logic that Surfer was on the previous list, I think Phoenix Force should be.
Yeah,
I think
so.
I think Surfer's still good, while Phoenix Force is like in a less good spot right now, especially with the clog.
It's true.
Tricky.
I mean, bluntly, almost all the best Phoenix Force players I know sort of quit.
I'm still here.
Oh,
Used to.
I've never actually seen you play Phoenix Force. I've been
Oh
on your
no!
Husky
stream a lot.
is-
Before I was a
I would put
Hella
Husky
guy.
up there with all the people
Oh,
you're thinking
that-
of.
I first like saw you when you became the Hella guy. So
No,
that makes sense.
Husky
like, during
is
the
better
Loki
at
season.
Phoenix Force than he is at Hella.
Really?
Having to play both. And I say that because he does more cool stuff with Penis Force.
penis forks.
With Phoenix Force than
Yeah.
he could potentially do with Hella. I think the skill gap. I've had to play a lot of people playing Phoenix Force, and I've had to play a lot of people playing Hela, and Husky is like the best at both of them. But like the difference between him and your average PF player versus him and your average Hela player, it's Phoenix Force is the big.
Yeah.
I mean,
But
it's because you can do more stuff.
Well, not necessarily anymore, right? Like a lot of that is
with
gone.
Phoenix Force.
I think the coolest shit is mostly gone.
Oh, with the priority move change, a decent amount of it's cool, like sneaking multiple man into Fist Tower without getting him shot.
Yeah. And like just the I moved here and then I played my Ghost Fighter versus I played my, you know what I mean? The ordering shit, like the quiz shit from the G-Doc.
Yeah, it gives me a headache. I don't play Phoenix Force.
Oh, it's very fun. You can do some. I like it a lot. Favorite lines are just not moving something to win the game. It's beautiful. Love that deck. Love that card.
My favorite bullshit is the when you get the like Phoenix Force double Nico bullshit, and it's just like, oh look, I have a 10 million power Nico.
Yeah, that's unfun to play against.
Like Nico's suddenly a 26 power card.
Yeah.
Do you know the thing about Nico's sound effects?
I've heard it, but no, I've never had my volume on the game. I only hear sound effects on people.
No, yeah, I've been recently training myself to identify the sound effects that Nico makes at the start of each game. And for those of you guys who are listening, there are 7 different sound effects, each of them distinct enough to say, all right, when I draw Nico, she's going to be this spell. And it's shockingly useful. Like especially with like limbo games.
It is.
To the right.
I also don't play with sound for the most part. And the other day I was playing I was actually on a Discord call with like Husky and like I think Gnome, and Husky was yelling out what my Nikos were doing, and I was like, God damn, this is very helpful.
It's cool.
Yeah.
I love that about Phoenix Force because you can sort of play around. I wish I knew that before.
Yeah, that would be really, really helpful.
Like during the Loki season, I was like 1 card off the current build of Phoenix Force. I just didn't see the interactions with Zola. And,
I hope they fix it so I don't have to play with sound and Husky.
Well, granted, no, I had original Goliath to play with, so I think Task was okay. But
Task is still at least reasonable in that deck. All right, either which way, Phoenix Force at 5. Come on.
That's what I had.
Yeah, sure. I'm good with it.
I want it there. All right. We are genuinely flying. Do we want to do... Okay, serious question. Do we want to do 5 Series 5 or 10? Because I flip-flop 15 times.
I only have 5, but I'm down to do 10.
Yeah, same here with Butt.
All right, let's do 10. Series 5 is complicated. All right, so...
All right, first is Arishem.
Arishem.
Gotta be Arishem.
Yes.
I mean, I think 1, 2, and even...
Arishem then Mockingbird, yes.
Yeah, Arishem, Mockingbird.
Wait, is Mockingbird... Mockingbird's actually ahead of Loki?
Yeah. And then Loki's 3.
Okay. All right, those 3 are
Nocturne at 3.
I had Nocturne at 4. But I could see that.
It's like, just because the Loki stuff by itself isn't where it used to be, and then Nocturne's just like everywhere.
Sure, the second they get rid of Arishem, Loki is right back where it was.
Yeah, I think so. I mean...
And it's not like Loki's not in Arishem.
Yeah, it's
like
not
the question is what shell you're playing Loki in right now.
Right.
I think Loki has to go above Nocturne, but I think Nocturne is a very easy 4. Does that make Jeff 5, or is Jeff falling enough?
I put Jeff 5.
I don't have Jeff 5. I have White Widow 5.
White Widow, really? No, it's nothing clogged, just good tempo. Oh, that's fair.
It's good in so many things.
Can I argue thena?
Thena I would put above Jeff as well. I don't even know if Jeff drops a lot by the existence of Nocturne.
Can I put Thena above White Widow?
No.
I don't think so.
Okay. One other
Thena's
card to consider then, before we go White Widow in that spot. The other card to really, really consider there is Sage.
I don't think Sage is in the best spot right now.
Yeah, I agree.
I think Sage is
great.
Good. Okay.
Oh, it's a nuts card, yeah. But it's like...
All right. White Widow, and then so Sage is going to make a top 10 though, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So Sage is going to make a top 10. What's her name? Thena's going to make a top 10. And
you know what?
Jeff is
I don't
not.
know if Thena makes the top 10.
I didn't have it really as a consideration.
Thena is really good, but I'm just looking at cards like right now, and there's just
we have
so
to put
many
Blob
good.
on this stupid list, don't we?
Do we though? I don't want to put Blob in the top 10 because Blob isn't. I mean, I don't know. I guess you kind of have to.
I mean, we can do the same thing with Leech and be like it's toward the bottom because we all hate it.
See, here's the cards that like we need to think about though. Like Hope is top 10.
I don't think so.
Nico might
Hope
be.
is nuts.
Hope is still top 10 in what though?
Hope's in a lot of different stuff right now.
Sure, but nothing like super relevant.
Is that true?
I argued at first that I thought Hope was actually fairly decent in Arishem, and no one played it there. Like, it's better than Fastos.
Yeah.
Oh, that's because he's
Fastos
trash.
Is bad.
If you're playing Fastos,
Hope's okay in Surfer.
No, it's
like
Hope
the problem.
Very, very good in Surfer.
Sure, the problem with Hope and Surfer is that reasonably often you're just ignoring her.
No, I think Hope is.
Are you never forward
rooting
rooting or just Mobiusing?
I don't think you can play Surfer without Hope.
Really?
Yeah, it just replaces Sarah and allows you to do 7 energy stuff on the last turn, namely,
I mean, half of this is because
Surfer.
I will take, Woody as the Surfer guy to me, and I think Woody is a Sarah truther, sorry, not a Sarah truther.
Hope Surfer, yeah,
a Surfer,
Hope truther.
Summer truther. And I kind of agree. I mean, like, he's talking me into it. I see the way now. I don't think you can play Surfer without Hope.
So there's no chance. Okay, fine. I'll concede that it's really good because I don't think it's a bad card. We're clearly arguing great cards here. There's no chance it's above Thena right now.
I don't know about that. I think Thena is enabled by Hope in a lot of the decks right now.
Or Ravonna, right? Like,
yeah, but I don't know. Like, I mean, Thena's very good. And to me, it's kind of like they may be on the same tier.
Okay.
We're just not
we are at
right now.
We are at 10 cards, so we're going to have to start cutting things. Either which way. What else do we think? All right, so Eliath, great, but not on the top 10. Fair?
Yeah, same with Annie.
Same with Annie. Zemo's
no way,
Garbo
Zemo.
right now.
Zemo should not be on the cards to consider list.
Zemo had a moment 2 seasons ago.
No, he did not.
Sure
he did not.
Crazy, stupid fucking mill deck is what he played to get into first. Like, that deck was real. Was it great? I don't know. Were great players playing it?
I used Zemo to get to first 2, and I still think Zemo's not even close.
All right, so Hope Iron Lad can not the right meta.
Iron Lad has been falling off ever since Hella Enjoyer left the game.
Oh, we missed
Corvus is obviously not.
Yeah.
No, it's
no.
I don't think Corvus was a good thing to do with Prime Hella, and then now that Hella is has been taken out back and shot in the legs, a couple times.
Good.
It's probably not. I don't think you can really consider it.
Does Pixie have to make the list?
No. I love Pixie. I'm the number one
I don't
Pixie
like
fan.
Pixie.
It's not.
I'm a fan of Pixie. Don't get me wrong. I was there with Butt, in the trenches.
Yeah.
Building some weird Pixie shit. He stayed longer than I did.
It's not top 10 though. It's there's too many good
Sersi
cards.
isn't top 10 right now because Sersi is seemingly fundamentally
That's another
disappeared.
one I wish was.
All right,
she's sort of in the same spot. She's just better Annie.
Yeah.
But Annie is far enough from
okay. So
stuff right
Sasquatch.
Not
I
really.
vote
I don't think Sasquatch
I think
does.
Sasquatch
It feels like
worse
not all. It's not nearly Mockingbird.
Mm-hmm.
Sasquatch is good. I just don't think it's top 10.
Yeah.
So
I mean, we're not putting it over Thena or Hope. So we're not going to be able to put it.
But Nico belongs in the top 10.
It might.
Does it?
Yeah,
It's like we're on the border too. I think it's that same tier.
So I would rather have Nico than where we are right now. Hope, Blob, Jeff.
I would put it over Jeff. I would unfortunately not put it over Blob because of how oppressive Blob is right now.
I could see it over Jeff because, like, as great as Jeff is, the problem it answers is just gone from the game.
Yeah, I think Nocturne is just a better Jeff.
Jeff does have a surprising amount of utility just in being a, hey, guess what? You can't fully clog me here.
Mm-hmm.
You better clog my whole board or another lane.
Yeah.
I just think there's a lot of decks.
Same with
There's
Kitty.
not a lot of decks where you want, like, or where you, like, just have the 2 slots for both Nocturne and Jeff.
Mm-hmm.
And
or like White Widow and Jeff? Or
no, Nocturne and Jeff.
like
if you have,
I thought you meant 2 drop slots. My bad.
Sorry,
the
no, like
deck
2.
slots.
Yeah. Your last 2 cards being, because those are 2 like filler cards generally, right?
Yeah,
and you don't have a lot of like. I rarely have 2 filler slots, and if I have one, it's going to Nocturne 99% of the time.
It largely depends what your curve is too, right?
Yeah, exactly. That's the 1%. The 1% of the time, I'm like, okay,
like if you have that generic spot, that's often White Widow now.
Yeah, exactly. I put White Widow over Jeff and as a generic 2 drop most of the time.
Okay. Yeah. Is there any other 5 to consider, or are we set on our 10?
I don't know. Gwenpool could be there. I don't think it is.
I just think it's too soon.
Yeah.
What's Gwenpool really good in? Like the drag dump deck.
The problem is it's really hard to know because everything is so warped.
Yeah, I think Gwenpool's really really good.
Definitely has potential, but just like Arishem's beating it down. I don't really.
Yeah,
exactly, right? Like, Arishem is pushing it down. But, like, once Arishem's gone, I would not be shocked if suddenly Gwenpool is amazing.
I think Red Guardian comes back if Arishem's gone, too.
Yeah, agreed.
Red Guardian wasn't really here before Arishem was, like, released, though, was it? It was still falling off.
I guess
it was
that's
in
true.
and out.
It was, like, just in
It's like, when Angela got the nerf, it kind of...
Yeah, that's true.
You know, it wasn't really dealing with the problem in the same way. It's like it's been on a downward decline. I mean, it
is really good though. Like, it's not a card you're usually super sad to have.
Like, a lot of decks are also running Mysterio or like Squirrel Girl for Mockingbird stuff, and that just like plays as Butt would say, "Get down, Mr. President."
Yep.
All right,
with your important stuff.
Let's order our 10. So Arishem, Mockingbird, Loki, Nocturne, White Widow are our top 5.
That sounds.
Then we've got Sage, Thena, Nico, Blob, and Hope. Blob has to be 6, yes?
I hate it, but yeah, I think so.
Yeah, Blob is just kind of nuts whenever there's like a deck with more than 12 cards.
Yep. Really hope they're never going to kill Arishem. All right, Sage, Thena, Nico, Hope. You guys are going to be way higher on Hope than I am, so you tell me where Hope goes.
Sage, Thena, Nico, Hope. Nico's last in that group.
Mm-hmm.
Thena and Sage are so similar in usage right now.
I think Sage is better.
I think Sage is better too.
I think Sage is just really like Sage can oftentimes just be used as better hit monkey.
Yeah.
In some of the bounce lists, so I very much enjoy it. Like, even move bounce, like I've put that in there.
Yeah.
It
goes there.
I think it's Sage.
The list that you and Sizer came up with, the exact same list independently, because that shit happens.
Yeah, I think it goes. Sage, Hope, Thena, Nico.
Sage, Hope. I cannot fathom Hope over Thena, but I'll take your word for it.
I mean, I'm open to it. I just
look. I'll take your word for it. You're better than I am for this shit.
I mean, I don't. No one's always like.
Look, no one's always right. Doesn't make you right. Since we're literally arguing about. We're arguing about one placement on like 3 different cards, and we're 80% within the same realm. It's not a big deal.
I just want to throw out towards my credibility. I said I loved old Snow Guard, so
Fair.
No.
And I'm also like playing. Some of the decks are a little bit different, and by that I mean the things that make Woody want to like jump off of a tall bridge into a small puddle. And,
Yeah, you mean a deck with Dr. Octopus is what you're talking about.
Well, yeah, it like I couldn't torture people with Hela anymore. I needed something. You can't take that away from me too.
Yeah.
I'll find something else. Don't you like? I'm not going to arishem. I'm not that evil, but I will find something else if you nerf Doc Ock. Mark my words.
I believe it.
They're not going to nerf Doc Ock, I don't think. Doc Ock's entire problem is you play it on turn 4.
I didn't think they were going to nerf Hela. Like, the win rate wasn't there, but they did anyway.
Going to have to. Public sentiment. We're only at the beginning of our Doc Ock hate. We're not 6 months in front of Doc Ock hate.
It's like, Loki also hasn't been nerfed, which is like...
Yeah, well.
Nice.
All right, our top 5 Series 1 cards, starting at 5. Carnage, Squirrel Girl, Blue Marvel, Angela, and Iron Man. And I would personally have Cosmo ahead of Carnage. Fair?
Wait, did we have... I thought Angela was 1.
Angela's 2. Iron Man's 1.
Okay.
I think that's probably right, given the nerf.
Did the nerf... I feel like the nerf was, like, not really that bad.
Depends on what deck. It's really, really bad for bounce.
Oh, yeah.
Like, it's really, really bad for certain decks that were using her as a win con. When she's just trying to be your like, mid-range power stuff.
Shout out to Claw, though. Shout out to him.
Oh, yeah, Claw was on my honorable mention for Series 1.
Yeah, it's like, Stefan just does some cool shit with Claw every once in a while.
Uh-huh.
It's that one, like, Super Giant, which, like, don't get me wrong, should not be on any of our lists, the Super Giant herself, but, like, that's some cool stuff. I very much enjoy those decks.
Super Giant's going to end up meta at some point.
They're hard to play.
Top 5 Series 2. We have Leech at the bottom, just out of pure spite. It should probably be around number 3. Sandman, Vision, Killmonger, Shang-Chi.
Yeah, that sounds alright.
I think Series 2 is unbelievably weak. In my head, it's much stronger.
It's like 13 cards.
I mean, it's 2 really strong cards and then a bunch of crap.
Yeah.
I mean, like, each of those cards has seen play at some point.
Yeah.
I think.
It's the weakest pool for sure, though.
Yeah. Killmonger should probably start going in more decks, considering Debris is 90% of decks right now.
Yeah.
If you can Killmonger off that Debris, those decks are a lot weaker.
Yeah, it is annoying.
Our top 10 Series 3 cards are Quinjet, Brood, Shadow King, Beast, Agent Coulson, Mystique, Debris, Surfer, Mysterio, Doc Ock.
I'm not sure Mysterio should be number 1. Yeah.
Can we make Mysterio number 1?
No, I hate it, but it's obviously Doc Ock.
Fine. I like Mysterio much more.
I do too.
All right. Mysterio is one of my favorite cards in the game. Beast is my favorite card in the game. Mysterio is one of my favorite cards. Top 5 Series 4, real easy. The only even debatable spot was number 5. Phoenix Force, Kitty Pryde, Mobius M. Mobius, Ravonna, Darkhawk.
Sounds good.
And our top 10 Series 5 cards, Nico, Thena, Hope, Sage, Blob, White Widow. Yeah, you could feel the tier difference right here. White Widow, Nocturne, Loki, Mockingbird, arishem.
Feels bad to snub Jeff like that.
Yeah, I mean, but also he's been the best, like the most go-to, like kind of the best card for forever.
Mm-hmm.
So it is nice to have other, like Nocturne replacing him. It's, variety.
If Jeff wasn't as cute as he is, you think he would have gotten nerfed? Like, changed or something like that?
No, because he's so inoffensive.
Yeah, it's like he's just a cute little guy. He's doing his thing.
But also, like, he's a 2/3 that, like, if you lose it, it's like, I lost it 2/3. It's like, not... It doesn't feel that bad losing to Jeff.
There was a point where he was irreplaceable in decks, and that he is never irreplaceable in decks, and every single one of these other cards can be irreplaceable in a deck.
I feel like Nocturne can be replaceable, but it's just like really, really good.
Sure, you're taking a severe nosedive in this power of the deck, generally speaking, if you're just like generally good card or Nocturne. Also, magic is fucking everywhere.
Yeah.
Thanks,
You're welcome.
Husky.
Yeah, it's like you guys took Hella away from me. I
did take Hella away from you. I actually had no problem with Hella. Bounce beat Hella reasonably well.
like sometimes, yeah.
Reason.
Are you running US Agent and Bounce is the question?
Yeah, I'm running US Agent. Yes.
Okay, then yeah, it's got a pretty decent matchup.
It's wild.
So, well, I mean, I don't think
I'm
not running US Agent now. I was running US Agent when Hella was everywhere. I'm running Shadow King now because Shadow King is better than US Agent in the current meta.
US Agent had a run as like the best.
Best card in the game.
Yeah,
it was up there for a while. It was really phenomenal.
There's no better feeling than just like invalidating Hella Enjoyer's legacy. Just
well, he quit before US Agent came out.
he did, yeah. It's like
Man,
with that
wasn't even
party,
on Tribunal. He was on Agatha.
Yeah, I mean, with like, I would love to see him cook with Blink.
That's what I told him. Yeah,
it's like I feel like people do not appreciate enough that like there's not really any improvements being made to living Tribunal decks, and that's because he's gone. And if he comes back, like there would be a new meta threat.
I don't think so. I think it's no. I don't think.
It's like it would not be everywhere. It would not be nearly as good. But I do not think about it anymore, and I sleep peacefully, and it's very nice.
Well, I'm gonna start messaging him because after all the sleepless nights that your clog deck is giving me.
Oh yeah, it's a fun time.
In fairness, you know what beats your clog deck reasonably good?
Killmonger, Legion.
Sure. What I'm using is Shadow King. I'm just taking care of that one stupid card.
Yeah, except the one stupid card is being protected by
it's going into a clogged lane.
Yeah.
Sure.
Also, it's like
I usually I'm playing bounce, so usually I have something that can bounce in or out of that lane. You're pulling a Falcon, you're pulling a Beast, and giving me extra space.
I just Juggernaut Husky. That's all you need to do.
Yeah, that is how you beat me. You play Juggernaut. I do not remember that Juggernaut exists.
He even has it written on the side of his computer now. And
I do. Well, I don't have it with me, which is the problem right now. But I had a little sticky note that was like the cards that I forget about in Snap. It was like Magneto. Sometimes I forget that Vision can move. I forget that people have a demon in their hand.
Husky has one note for me, and it's Juggernaut.
No, I don't forget about Claw.
Oh, I forget about Claw constantly.
Juggernaut is one of those. And then there's like one more that I can't remember. That's fitting.
Well, it's Doom. You forgot about Doom. Rule number 1.
That's like rule 3.
Yeah.
Rule 1 is they have Shang.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Sorry, I forgot my
3.
rule.
I think is you're dead to Doom.
Yeah.
2 is that snap was Alioth in like prime Alioth days.
Oh, I remember that. Yes.
4 was it's not a 50-50.
Can you explain 4?
Like it's
when you're coping.
You're coping. The most common thing I see is like, okay, it's a 50-50 for my Jubilee to pull Hella out of my deck, so I should snap. No, it's a 50-50 for Hella, for you to have the chance for Hella to win you the game. It's like, you see it as a 50-50, it's probably not, just because of random other bullshit that you did not consider.
Cosmo, and you know.
They have Cosmo, they have Shang-Chi Grandmaster, one of those. Some just random BS.
But based on pot odds, aren't you supposed to stay at anything like 40% or above?
Well, it depends on when they snap.
Yeah.
I guess the sentiment is you're overestimating
37.5, I think,
in general.
Yeah. If they snap on turn,
I had 38 in my head, but
if they boomer snap, you're supposed to. It's like I did the math with how I've forgotten it by now. Just because, if you're below a certain threshold, you're supposed to mathematically boomer snap, just to like make them staying worse. Can't remember the exact number, but
or you always snap a turn 1 Chavez, right, Husky?
Oh yeah, Chavez in turn 1 is the second combo in the combo. That's pretty good. You told someone in the beta that I got I got America Chavez down on turn 1. They'd be like, yeah, I'd snap that. That's pretty good. It's that's pretty dang good.
America Chavez, the best card in Marvel Snap history.
Oh yeah, I had her in Helidex. That was a weird time.
Yeah. All right, Roy. Oop,
All right.
Oh, Roy's here.
Oh no, I'm here. I've been here the whole time.
Your screen blinked. Sorry.
Yeah.
Good reference. Good reference.
So Dark Hawk is our variant of the week, our final segment of each and every week. So we're going to start here on the right here with the person who has the good taste for the Pixel Dark Hawk. Who picked Pixel Dark Hawk here?
That would be me.
All right, but why? What do you love about Pixel Dark Hawk?
I mean, look at it. First of all, I like pixel variants in general.
Man of taste.
I don't know. I mean, I like the hip one. The hip one's great. I don't know what the third one, what artist that is, but that's pretty cool. I just think most of the Dark Hawk variants are not that great.
Really?
And I don't know. Look at that pixel guy.
As far as pixels go, it is actually quite. It's in the top tier of pixels. All right, so that is the new Spotlight.
It reminds me
variant,
of the Power Ranger. Yeah.
The middle right one is the new one, right? Did you pick that, Husky?
Yeah. I did. I want to give a fair warning. I have never bought any variants in this game. I think I am very commonly referred to as variant blind. Like, I don't give a fuck. There are like maybe 1 to 2 variants that I've even like considered buying, and even then I was like, nah. It feels like a sin to some people I know, mainly like Woody. Once again, we've met.
He constantly has the ugliest deck in Marvel Snap.
It's great.
The green borders, the light green, upgraded once borders with like base art. Just the worst.
I don't care about the variants. Like, I care about the stuff that the card does, and the economy in this game is already tight enough. And it's like, why would I spend something on something that makes my card look slightly different when I could just have like a new card? It's like, it's not exactly 1-to-1 there. And also, I don't really see variants. Like, I just don't. Don't look at them. Like, just.
Shout out to Husky though, because he's not quite free to play, but you're about as close to free to play as it gets for high end players.
I used to be free to play ish. Like, I bought 2 season passes before I started making content, and then I was like, you know what? I should probably like get new cards for streaming. And it's like, I've made my money back on this game and then some.
You and KX4N, the level you guys compete at with the limited card selection you guys have is definitely impressive.
But also like, I'm very glad that. Okay, but how do you guys feel about this? Gray borders. Do you have any gray bordered cards?
Yeah, I keep everything gold. Every card I use is gold.
Like, gold not the border. Cards you use, but like the variants of just
he's talking about like the best way to upgrade your deck towards maximum credits is to always upgrade a gray bordered card.
Yeah, I know. I don't. I am the opposite of almost free to play. I have like 35 Spotlight Ashes and 66,000 tokens. I'm not like worried about it.
So I did that until I was Series 3 complete, Husky.
Yeah,
do it. It's the value. Think of the value.
I don't need value anymore. The value is like never like they'd have to completely change the system for the value to actually matter.
It was very nice. We've gotten Woody and Gnome to start making progress on it, and it makes me happy.
Yeah, but Woody's got a super high. Like, he doesn't need to do that.
Yeah, I mean, he doesn't, but like, it still made me happy. I just bullied him into it. And
no, I'm not doing it because I variant hunt now. Or like, I want to get good splits, and that's bad for getting good splits.
It is bad for getting good splits. It's a waste of credits if that's what your goal is. I want to get as many cards with a gold background. I have gold borders, so now I'm trying to get gold backgrounds. I think I have. I just hit 40 gold backgrounds. So
I don't see why people like gold backgrounds as much as they do. It's like the art there is just gone. It's replaced by just like a sheen of piss, and it's just back there.
Yellow is my favorite color.
That is a terrible favorite color. Oh my god!
I mean, it says the person who plays Dr. Octopus, Debris, and Hela.
This is a whole thing with me. Like, yellow is just a terrible favorite color to have.
Nope.
No, it's a very bad favorite. Like, of all the colors, the colors of like the rainbow and beyond, all the colors of the Xerox printer you have in the office.
Sure.
And you choose yellow?
I did choose yellow. Yellow is my favorite.
You still choose yellow?
Yes.
Is there someone behind, like, you...
Is there a story behind it? Yeah, of course.
No, I was going to say, is there someone, like, holding a weapon to you and, like, forcing you to say that? Because I don't see any other logical explanation for it.
Yeah, and yellow is a lot of people's favorite
yellow.
Okay, a lot of people are wrong, you know?
How are you wrong? It's a color.
It's not a good favorite color to have. Like, I can see, like...
I swear to God, if you say blue is your favorite color...
It's not blue. What do you think I am? Some basic bitch? Oh,
yes!
No. No. It could not be blue. Could not be blue.
What is it?
There's purple. Purple, like, I tell people it's red, but, like, I've seen a shade of purple twice in my life, and that's my favorite color. I like
this shade of purple?
Yeah!
That's amazing.
It's a very good color. It's, that clear, starry night, looking up at the Milky Way, no light pollution. It's like someone had taken a knife across the sky, and a beautiful purple had been just...
Can I ask what state you live in?
I live along the East Coast, but this was up in Canada.
Okay, that makes sense.
So not near me.
Okay, because in the East Coast, you are not seeing that shit.
Yeah, right. I did not see it. I did not see it here.
Okay,
but I did see it up there, and it was very nice. And it was not yellow. That is like you're like one of the hospital yellow. That's like
no, it's like a golden yellow.
That's nice. That's still not that good. It's like
it's my favorite color. It's great.
You have a wrong favorite color. I'm sorry.
I have a great favorite color. You're mystical purple. You couldn't show anyone else.
Yeah, it's great. No. Yeah, that's why it's my favorite. You know, it's like I'm not gonna choose some basic color that I like. Oh, looky there. There's that color where you ever just like stare into the sun to see your favorite color. You know,
that seems like a poor idea.
Well, so does having the favorite color yellow, but you still do that anyway.
It's a beautiful idea. You just
staring into the sun. I don't think it is.
You're a color hipster. There's nothing to be done.
I've stared into the sun my fair share of times. I don't think it's.
And that's right when you looked away. That's when you saw that shade of purple.
No. I saw like the little rings around the eyes. That's pretty fun. You should, for all of you guys listening, you guys should stare at the sun. That's.
Snap Judgments does not endorse this take.
Yeah, just look at it a little bit until I don't know, until you see the mystical purple. Then your eyes will be open. I'm not sure if you'll be able to see anything afterwards, but they'll be open.
Glazer, right. I assume you picked this middle left Darkhawk variant?
I picked the scan variant. I really like the scan variant. Partially because it was the only Darkhawk variant I had for like ages. I like the hip better, but
I don't see any yellow in it.
So I like the scan variant. It reminds me of Vader.
Yeah. It's true. There's not
I don't see yellow
there.
in any Darkhawk variant.
It's true. I mean, but if you do get
I have
the
my
yellow
Darkhawk
background,
with the gold background, so
I bet it pops.
I do.
So another thing,
the
Glazer
yellow background is actually best on Husky's Choice. So I'm going to make sure to put that on Husky's Choice, so that I'm not only using a variant, I'm using a variant that he chose with his favorite color, yellow.
And you also have to open a bunch of spotlight caches to get that. So
I got mine into.
Did you open for the variant?
Yeah, I've got 36. When I like a variant, I open for it. I got Ajax, and then I opened for Darkhawk. I've opened for like
Ajax in one. Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Yeah, I got Ajax and one Darkhawk in two.
Good life.
I would have been fine with that. I would have been fine with that Beta Ray build, but I don't really need it, so I didn't bother. There's a hip Beta Ray build. I got my hip Abomination, so I have every Dan hip that you can get in the game.
You hate variant.
Do you also hate Dan hip art because you hate things that bring joy?
Oh, I enjoy Dan Hip. I'm just like still reeling from like
yellow.
Yeah.
Well, like Coldplay, everything is yellow, and so let's move on to my favorite segment of. Oh wait,
not yet.
We do. I thought we did that. We do the goodbyes first. Okay, so my brain. All right, so we get to allow our awesome special guests to sort of remind you all how to engage with them and what you would find on their content. So, Husky, if our loyal listeners and loyal viewers would become the loyal viewers of your Twitch streams, what would they find on your streams?
Marvel Snap. I play some pretty good games. Sometimes I bring out my microwave and I put my head into it.
Mod wheel.
Don't ask me why that's a thing on my channel. It's kind of chaos in there. It's a lot of just like a lot of good times, a lot of bits, and then like a decent amount of just me like gaslighting like random specific people. I think one of my favorite things I've done was, you know, the go live notification on Twitch. I changed that to like, hey, Jimmy Dickens, Husky is live. And then I told the entire chat like, hey, yeah, I found out a way to like shout out specific viewers. So it's like, you know, it's I'm talking to you directly. That and my entire Twitch chat played along just to fuck with Jimmy. And that is one of my proudest moments. So if you like good,
if you're lucky
good,
to be there
at least
for
decent level
mod
snap
wheel too,
and
you can even
chaos
be a
like
mod
that shit,
first-time viewer
come
in
on in.
Husky's channel.
We have different commands. Oh, mod wheel. Oh, if you are all right, I'll give the brief synopsis on mod wheel. We take all the mods, including the bots and this everyone who's modded, everyone who wants to be mod. We put them in a wheel. We spin the wheel. If you get mod, you get to take your mod from someone else, and just start going nuts in the chat. Just like ban people, you know, not for too long, but like dunk their head under the water and let them up to breathe every so often. It's just pure chaos and the best way to get people like caught up to speed in the culture of the chaos that is my chat. It's a good time. I do that like once a month. We had the last mod wheel ended with like demodding everyone, so said democracy. Last time I make that mistake of implementing democracy in my Twitch channel, but it was a very good time.
So what you get from Husky is objectively great Marvel Snap and objectively terrible takes and chaos.
I don't think you're wrong.
I don't know. I feel like there's some pretty good takes. Like Hella is good. Hella is fun.
So it is genuinely a great time in his chat. You will see people get bullied, but like the Zoomer contingent of the chat just bullies each other completely relentlessly. Like completely relentlessly and entirely constantly. And as long as you're willing to play along and have a great time, it's a joyous chat to be in. And you get, honest to God, way ahead of the curve Marvel Snap decks that you
my
think
only
don't
addition
work,
to that
and
is
you see everywhere.
I'm the chief bully in Husky's chat, and I'm not a Zoomer, so you know I'm and I don't act like an adult.
No, you're like the adult of the group, which is insane because your name is Butt.
You fell asleep on
that was
like
a Discord
not on
call.
stream, but like on the call. I don't know if you can. That's like we don't talk about that. All right.
Fair.
I don't know. It's we do need to get you back to banning Jimmy in at least one of either mine or Woody's chats.
So in about 3 weeks or so, Jimmy is on with Dubos, and I'm just telling you, the tone of
my
that
hard sell is
chat
Jimmy
is going to be
Dickens.
so different. It's going to be whiplash.
I don't have socials or I don't stream. You can find me in
that's a pretty good hard sell.
chats,
I like that.
Huskies. And some of the other people I shout out, you know, Dexter, Yo Woody, Gnome Stays, KX4N, you know, KM Best. I'm sure just a bunch of random Twitch chats. I don't have a Twitter, so I don't have anything to shout out besides my anti-Jimmy Dickens takes. So yeah, that's all I got.
He won Snap Judgments League. He's also, despite his claims of not being an adult, like genuinely super nice, approachable, and giving. I talked to Butt a lot, like more than almost everyone in your group.
He's mean. He'll ban you. He'll call you.
Well, he's not going to ban me. He's not going to ban me. He will call me stinky. But he is generally a generous and kind person, in my experience, as long as you're not a Zoomer. Apparently, he's really mean to the Zoomers. But everyone else, he's really, really sweet to. So make
Unless
sure
you're Jimmy
that when you
Dickens.
see Butt around, you give a wave. Unless you're Jimmy Dickens.
There we go. All right, now we are on to everyone, not just mine, but everyone's favorite segment, where Glazer reads off all of our patrons, and we can see how many breaths
Oh
it
shit!
takes
I
them to
didn't
do it.
actually copy the slide.
Oh,
I'm gonna have to do it from a
wow!
different place. Yeah, because it updates every week, so I didn't actually
I'm
copy
gonna,
the
while
updated one.
he's looking up the names, I'm gonna
It's fine, I don't have to. I
apologize
have
to the wonderful people who support his work and his channel and give
it's fine,
their
whatever.
hard-earned
I've got
dollars
it.
in this economy.
I have 4 slideshows open at any given time for the various
All
bullshit
right,
we do.
you ready, Aaron?
Thank you too. Yeah, Abigail Uslam, Editor of Burnout, Cables, Irregardless, David G. Wingfield, Direwolf, LAB, FaThorNewman, Good Dog Gamer, This Is The Way, Inc., I Am Frostman, Jane Everett, Doomer, Prime Brian, Caretix Lee, Query, Pearl Force, The Goat Seeker, Demman, Falcon, Quid Pro Joe, Doc D, Fat Nick, Ginger Prime, Philip Rakovich, Haplo, Kenny Loggins, Rob Silverman, The Biz, Extra and Skippy G, Tommy Nyquist, who won Separate League Season 1, The King of Bros, Black Dahlia, The Great Kazoo, Jessica Gamble, Ryan Wood, Kepsi Hoda, Ludacris, Archangel 3K, John Q, Louis Antunez, The Mod Supreme Models, Darth Tater, Raymond Satala, Brian Kaufman, Tristan H. Martin, Jason B, JD McDonaldinho, The Fuzzy Dunlop, Spectrum X, Hoot, Matt H, Mikey Hijinks, No Flex, Ocularis, Craig Starry, Spike Jones, Two Ties, The Great Lauren Whatevs, The Pirate King Talker, The Homie Min, and of course Gunny T, where the T stands for Take Us Out, Roy.
All right. Well, that brings us towards the end of another episode. But I want to thank you for being on this episode. It was wonderful
But not
having you
Husky.
on. I hope to have you on again soon. All right. I'm gonna. Clearly, this shows that
Love that.
He's gonna
people.
say the same thing to Husky after this.
No,
Like-
just leave it at that. Cut it there.
No. I'm sorry. It's my
Oh,
show,
is that a
so
thing?
I'm
I
gonna
didn't
do
know
the
that
same
was a
thing I
thing.
do every week. This just shows that you don't
We
listen.
just had one of the guests and not the other.
Is I think each guest in order in which they appear on my screen. So Husky, thank you so much for being on this show. I really appreciate it. It was great having you on, and I know Glazer will schedule you before we know it. All right. Well, Aaron, I appreciate doing this show with you each and every week.
Peace and love, everybody.
All right, friends. Until next week, make good choices, stay safe, and keep on snapping.